Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the latest episode of the Chinlock, Digital Daily Fix's weekly episodic wrestling podcast here on Spreaker.com. And what you just heard is our brand new theme song, all original, not just taking some artist's music and throwing it up there for 30 seconds. But that is our whole new theme song. We won't play the whole minute and 30 seconds every week, but I just wanted to play the whole thing this week to give you a listen. So, yeah.
I like listening to things.
I like listening to things for free.
I have ears.
I have ears. Sounds go into them, and they stimulate my brain.
No. I don't know about stimulate.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves now.
Sometimes rage is involved. Other times, I just go to sleep.
Yeah.
You guys said brain.
Yeah, we know you don't have one.
Yes.
Nope. I do. It's just too much effort to use.
Yeah. So, another week of wrestling. Another episode of the Chinlock. Plenty of that stuff to talk about. Plus, three of us actually sat down and watched the Marine 3. Homefront.
I did it.
Did you say you didn't?
No, I did it.
Oh, I did it. Okay. Fair enough.
I kind of did it.
Yeah.
I mean,
I have not seen the Marine 3. I'll just assume that it's better than Ms. TV.
Oh yeah, I'll at least give it that. It is better than Ms. TV.
Better than the Marine 2.
Yeah.
Not one skull-crushing finale or figure 4 in that movie anywhere. I'm disappointed.
Well, he did film that before.
Plus, he didn't really come to play.
He did film that before he learned the figure 4, though. Because remember, he didn't learn it until Ric Flair came in and showed him how to do that, because that's the only way you can learn. No one knows how to do it unless Ric Flair shows you.
No.
There's a lot of wooing involved.
And styling and profiling.
Elbowing suit jackets.
But I was really mad because at no point did his theme song play when he was like killing a bunch of people.
No.
Though he did curse.
Yeah, he did. He did curse. Because it's... Yeah.
Edgy.
It is. It's edgy with blood and cursing and FBI with the IQ of mud.
Yeah, I was going to say, there's some dumb people in that movie.
There's some really, really dumb people. There's some plot holes in it, but I mean, it's a WWE film. It's what you expect. So we can go into more details into that later in the show. Before we kick everything off, though, I just want to remind anyone that is listening that our website, so like if you're on the computer right now, if you're listening via the computer or any smartphone device that allows you to open up a second window, I want you to go to digitaldailyfix.com, all one word, and at the top of our website is 2 posts. Franchise Free for All. We have begun the second round in the last 2 of our regions, the television region and the comic book region today. Polls are open today and tomorrow, and then Tuesday they will close and we will start with the Sweet 16. So if you would be so kind as to go to digitaldailyfix.com right now.
I'm doing it now. It's so easy.
Visit the site, cast your votes. It's 4 polls per post. And then if you would also be kind enough to share that page on your Facebook for some of your friends to also see and vote as well, it would be greatly appreciated. This isn't anything to push you to get us money or anything. It's literally just a March Madness tournament that we throw together for nerdier themes. And hey,
you can give us money if you want.
Yeah, I mean, if you want. Since you're listening to a wrestling podcast, WWE Raw is on the poll. It's in the tournament. It moved on to the second round. It's there. You can vote for it if you want. It's going against South Park. I don't have much faith in it winning. But hey, it's South Park.
Just think of the episode where Vince McMahon appeared on, and just vote for WWE anyway.
That's a good.
Because a vote for South Park is a vote for WWE.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, because I mean, I just my personal thing is I don't see WWE
but
doing anything.
I will say that I'm a little surprised by some of the outcomes. I was surprised Mega Man survived the first round.
Yeah.
But, I guess I'll do my thing, which involves news. No?
I don't have the theme ready.
Bum, 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 bum.
Sounds good to me.
It's my fault. I done goofed.
Oh, well, look, we'll give it to him a cappella this week. It'll be fine.
I done goofed. Oh, yeah, well.
No.
I did it. I hit play.
Oh, it's one too many times.
Do it a third time.
No.
Just to make him suffer.
Yeah, go ahead. Let's hear it. All right. That's enough.
You're killing him. He's had enough. You're killing him. Do it again. No, don't do it again. All right. In all seriousness, there's apparently a lot of concern over Rey Mysterio's future in the WWE, as for the past several years he's been plagued by injuries, getting multiple surgeries into his knees and whatnot. So there's major concern in the backstage where they don't feel like they have a real top Latin babyface with.
What are you talking about?
Del Rio apparently not getting over, and I just wanted, and Sin Cara just apparently being written off as a flop in the company.
But I got two words for you.
Tough titty.
I was gonna say El Generico. He's extremely Latin. He wears a mask.
No, he doesn't.
Well, I think this is just time to take Ricardo Rodriguez out of the tux and put him in the ring.
Well, what they could always bring back Juan Cena.
They could bring back Juan
Cena. That'd be pretty awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I understand why they would want to have a top baby face for the Latino demographic, and yeah, I mean, I don't think Del Rio is quite connecting. I mean, his whole face turn, and really a lot of his character at this point is based on Ricardo. I mean, I guess I'd like to see how this feud with Swagger plays out, up to and through Mania. If you can get a lot of heat on Swagger, and then you can have and if you have Del Rio go over him, and that might help him a little bit, but. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think at this point, the best character that they would have for that currently on their roster would be Ricardo. But I don't know if they're really going to be willing or able to pull the trigger on converting him from an announcer who's always been portrayed as
a sidekick.
Really soft, a sidekick, to being a full-fledged wrestler. So,
you know who could help them out real right now? A guy named Hunico. And I stand by that. I stand by that.
Well, isn't he still recovering from surgery? Or
as far as I'm concerned, yeah, he's still recovering from surgery. But
what about Camacho?
I don't know who you're talking about.
Camacho, obviously.
No one knows who you're talking about.
Camacho.
No one knows who
yeah.
you're talking about.
Yeah, he's from the Manchester Camachos.
Yeah.
Long lineage.
Fair enough.
For those who care, a heel turn might be in the works for Kobe Johnston, as the belief is he's been booked in such a way as far as being a face for so long that, you know, he won't really get over as a top baby face until they give him an actual heel push.
You know, I think there are a lot of guys in that position of the card who could use a turn. You know, I think Kobe Johnston would be one. Zack Ryder, I think at this point, could be a guy who, you know, if you're going to ever really push him seriously, could use a turn. But the one thing I question is, with Kobe Johnston's wrestling style, like, it's, you know, really high-paced, you know, a lot of high spots. It's really exciting. And that's something that the crowds usually get behind. So you're going to have to retool this entire guy's moveset, I think, if you're going to turn him.
I think you just have to make everything more aggressive. You have to put a little anger behind all of his moves.
Yeah, but then who's gonna try to not get eliminated at the Rumble all crazy?
Also, who in the world is Kevin Pereira going to come back and team with?
Oh, that's true.
Sin Cara, maybe?
Yeah, that'll work.
Or El Generico, or whatever I forget what his name is now.
Savio Vega.
I got it here, but, you know.
Okay.
Does anybody want to take a guess as what El Generico's name is?
The generic.
Nope.
Howard stole my answer.
I think it's like Simon Sane or something.
Close enough. Sami Zayn.
Sami Sane. Okay.
I don't like that at all. That sounds terrible. It's almost as bad as Lloyd Boner.
What about Cassius Ohno?
Well, I got over that. But, like, Sami Zayn sounds like... Might as well just call him Captain Insano.
Yeah.
Like, it's not subtle enough.
It
sounds
sounds
not
like
complex, or it's like Cassius Ohno is kind of complex. And, like, you know, like, Roman Reigns sounds good. But, like, Sami Zayn, it's too simple. It just sounds stupid.
Yeah, it sounds like the name that somebody would give their creative wrestler.
Yeah. It sounds like a member of the Insane Clown Posse.
You know what? Just name him Silent Rage.
That would be better.
No.
Whatever happened to that guy? I'm waiting for him to debut.
He got cut.
Oh, I don't know. Impossible. He wasn't tough enough.
He's hanging out with Daniel Puder.
But all those tough enough winners going to have huge careers.
Cracker got fired.
Oh, all right. I was hoping to see him and Fandango.
Well, he got fired because he obviously was the one that wasn't meant to win.
Yeah.
Ah, shit, the good one broke his ankle. I give it to the big oaf.
We'll just... yeah, we'll fire him in a few months. Nobody will even notice.
Why do you think right after he won he got a Stone Cold Stunner?
But Fandango is going to wrestle Chris Jericho.
Fandango is going to probably debut at WrestleMania.
Hopefully he stands up WrestleMania.
Both him and Big E Langston.
Yeah. And it's so funny because there have been so many reports in the past that the WWE never wants to use WrestleMania as a launching platform for anyone.
They're doing it twice.
Yeah, twice.
So it must be nice.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I would think if you were going to do something like that, you could have just held off Fandango and had him attack Jericho the night after WrestleMania.
Or gimmick battle royal.
Yeah, I guess you could have done that, but
we also don't.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like it's been weird because like back, especially during the Monday Night Wars, like they would sign guys, like especially when they brought in the Big Show, like they brought him in like before WrestleMania, and like they set him up in a match against Mankind. Everything just felt really rushed, and they jobbed him out to Stone Cold on like the Raw or 2 Raws before WrestleMania that year. It's just really weird to You know, like the weird that they've done something like that in the past, and they've gotten away from it for a long time. So, and I mean, if those guys put on a good showing, it'll be really good for them. But if they make any mistakes or tank in any way, you know, they're probably done.
I mean, are you talking about? You're just talking about the two rookies. You're not talking about like you were just talking about Langston and Fandango.
Yeah, I'm just talking about Langston and the guys who are going to be making their debuts.
Okay. For some reason,
WWE debuts in Mania.
For some reason, my brain processed that as you were just talking about Fandango versus Jericho in general. And
no, I'm actually pretty excited to see that match. I think that match itself will be pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, I think if there is anyone that you want to throw a rookie at for WrestleMania, if there's any veteran you want to put him in the ring with, I think it's Jericho. I think Jericho's the best option because he's a proven veteran that can make anyone look good.
Yeah, and Johnny Curtis himself is a pretty solid worker.
Yeah.
So but yeah, I mean, I think putting him with a guy like Jericho is going to do wonders for him.
Yeah.
And I think even with Langston, you're putting him in there with Ziggler, Bryan, even Kane. I mean, you don't even have to give Langston a whole lot of time if you have any concerns about him. So it's just one of those things where like you were saying, they don't typically don't use Mania as a debut or a launching pad. And
no.
I don't know if maybe the time crunch is pushing them into it, or they're just trying to do what they can to generate some interest for the show.
It's possible. All I know is if this is the plan, if their match is going to be at Mania, I'm kind of interested to see what his entrance would be like. I mean, we've seen it get bigger every week with like dance floors and all the tassels and shit. I want to see what if he's going to be at Mania. I want to see them go all out.
He's going to have his own light bright jacket.
I wouldn't be surprised. So, who knows? I mean, it's we still got 2 weeks. They may just suddenly throw the match tomorrow night.
Or the following week.
Yeah. Or any of the SmackDowns as well. I mean, who knows?
You know what that means. Saturday Morning Slam.
Jericho and Fandango.
Yep.
I'd watch it.
But I still swear that Great Khali got his name right.
Oh. Well, hey, I mean, if you ever want to hear the Great Khali say anyone else's name, there's now a Great Khali soundboard.
Or do their catchphrase.
Oh, is that what it is? I didn't get to listen to him yet.
I did it. He does their catchphrases. So he does, "Woo! If this were or the rocker cooker."
Ah, okay.
All that kind of jazz. So speaking of WrestleMania, apparently there really hasn't been any idea what to do with the Divas this year. The idea currently
the Nunos.
The current idea includes a big 8 diva tag match, much like past years where they just throw all the divas in a match. That would feature the Bellas, Tamina, Layla, Caitlyn, the Funkadactyls, and Maria Menounos.
I think that is all the divas, isn't it?
Yeah, but if they want to be real smart, I think they should take out Maria Menounos and put in Trish Stratus, since they got her there.
That would be cool. I mean, I don't know. I thought they were building up toward a mixed tag for Mania of Rhodes Scholars and the Bellas against the Funkadactyls and Brodus Clay and Albert. But I mean, if they're to
Rhodes Scholars may still show up.
Yeah. I guess you can do it either way. I mean, it's not like anybody. It's like the Divas division is in such. It's such an afterthought right now that you can probably do whatever you want and it'd be fine.
How about Rape on TV?
Yeah, it'll probably get it'll get them publicity.
But not the good kind like you want.
I mean, have they officially closed the door on whatever the hell was going on with Caitlyn and Cody Rhodes? Do you think what happened on Monday was the official like end of it, or
Who knows?
because that's still an option as well?
Yeah, they could do that. I mean, I don't know. It looks like what they're going to be doing for now is to, I think once they brought the Bellas back, they figured they would need to get them on TV somehow, and give them a reason to be on TV. So, I mean, I guess you could, keep them paired up with Rhodes Scholars for a while. Then you can always work the Caitlyn thing back in later.
Yeah, but I mean,
and I think it's probably done until after Mania, would be my guess.
I'm still pulling for my prediction last week that it's not done until Mania. That it's leading up to a Cody Rhodes face turn, and then it's Damian Sandow and the Bella Twins against Cody Rhodes, Caitlyn, and Karma.
That would be cool. I mean, I would still like to see that. I don't know if they would do it, but that would be cool.
Yeah,
and since it's something it's an idea that we have that we like, it won't happen.
No, it won't. And I'm not saying it will, and I don't know what the chances are of them even doing it. So, I mean, who knows? If they do Menounos, that's fine. She's a decent worker, and she likes wrestling. So, there you go. But I think you're cutting it close if you want her there, because usually they like to do something on Extra, and I don't know. I feel like if you're gonna use a celebrity, you got to have more than 2 weeks worth of hype. Well, even if it is a woman for the Divas division. Didn't mean to sound sexist there.
No.
Well, but that's the truth. I mean, yeah, there are no divas that are going to be any type of a draw at all in the WWE right now. I mean, and there have been times where people, have wanted to, watch, Trish and Lita, and I remember there was a Raw where Trish and Lita were the main event.
Yeah,
and they went out and they had a killer match, but just with the way that it seems like the outlook on the Divas division is that it is a kind of a throwaway. It's it's a token
bathroom break.
It's a token, yeah. It's a bathroom break. It's a a token division, so they can say that we got Divas.
So with everything else that Triple H has been reported of doing for developmental and everything, do you think he's the kind of guy that would want a Divas division that is more focused on women that can wrestle as opposed to hot pieces of ass?
Who knows?
Well, I mean, he did sign Karma, so I mean, I think that there's the thought there, but
at the same time, he also just brought back the Bellas.
Yeah, but
the Bellas
is really talented.
They're not abysmal.
Yeah, I mean, there certainly have been.
There are worse divas.
But I don't think.
Name 5.
Jillian Hall.
Kelly.
Lady Tapa.
I'm just trying to name 5 divas.
Oksana's pretty terrible.
Oksana is
bad.
So you got Kelly, Oksana, Jillian Hall.
Hey, I just want to say I don't think her work's terrible on NXT because she actually has time to wrestle. Helmut will maybe Helmut will back me up on this one.
Oh. And Alicia
She has
Fox.
been better on NXT.
Alicia Fox, certainly. I kind of drilled that down deep, but it has come out.
I'm surprised it took you this long to say her, so I'm disappointed in you.
Santina Marella.
Best diva? What are you talking about?
No, certainly bad.
I kind of consider the Bellas as like middle of the road. Like they don't screw up too much. They only really screw up when they're in the ring with another diva that doesn't know what the fuck they're doing. But like when they were in the ring with someone like Beth Phoenix and everything, they were fine.
Wow, there are like not a lot of divas at all. I'm looking at the roster right now.
Oh, it was picked bone dry when everybody decided to leave. Kelly decided to leave for other stuff. The Bellas.
Eve Torres, Bella's left for a while.
Yeah.
Beth Phoenix.
Beth Phoenix. Natalia is with Great Khali, so she might as well be dead.
I mean,
Well, that's because Great Khali has big hands.
Yeah, they're the Funkadactyls, the Bella Twins, AJ Oksana, Alicia Fox, Layla, Natalia, Rosa Mendez, and Tamina.
In fairness, Naomi can actually go in the ring.
Yeah, I give her credit. She's pretty good in the ring. I know the Divas division will never be a prominent thing, but I would like to see them focus on getting more women in there with actual ring experience.
Well, the problem with that, all of them are in NXT, and that's no joke.
Yeah,
All of them.
That is true.
Yeah. I mean, I like the idea that I think there was some rumor a while ago that they were going to sign some of the Japanese women wrestlers. Like one or two they were talking about. Maybe I'm wrong, but I thought there was something that popped up.
I know she retired, but bring back Bull Nakano.
There you go. That's fine. But I mean, like the women wrestlers in Japan are trained to wrestle, like hardcore wrestle, and they can be really good. So bringing like a couple of them in, I also think would put a unique spin on the Divas division, because you don't have any female wrestlers like the ones in Japan. Bring in one or two, and they're going to stand out, and they're going to get noticed. Just like someone like Karma will, they will.
Yeah,
dig up the corpse of the fabulous Moolah and put some puppet strings on it.
Yeah, but I think even if you go start bringing in some divas with a different look, like something. I mean, I know Karma has a much different look than your traditional diva, and you don't maybe have to go that extreme, but yeah, I think any change, if you want it to be a serious wrestling division, you got to either give them some serious training time, or you can bring in some other talent, maybe a little bit of both.
Mm-hmm. You want to get some attention on the Divas division, you bring in one of those Japanese female wrestlers, have them work a match, and just stiff kick Alicia Fox straight to the side of the head. And when that echoes throughout the entire arena, everybody's going to be like, oh, shit. I think something like that. Just get wrestlers.
Yeah. Oh, it's official. We have just now given the Divas more time than WWE has in the entire month of March.
It's true.
Hooray! Moving away from the Divas.
I'll say moving on.
Apparently WWE likes the Zeb Coulter character that Dutch Mantel portrays on TV, but they're not sure what Swagger's status is going to be after Mania. So, who would you like to see Zeb Coulter get paired up with if Swagger gets axed?
The Shield.
That could work. I mean, I think that could be okay. I mean, I think the Shield are good enough talkers on their own.
Oh, I mean, they are.
That's actually how I feel.
No, No, go on. Finish.
Yeah, I mean, I would think with anybody on the active roster right now, I would think maybe Ryback, because that guy could use a little bit more to his character than eating puns.
I just don't see Ryback.
He's the big hungry.
Like, if they like the Zeb Coulter character, they're gonna like him to stick somewhere in like his political region that he's in now, and I don't see that fitting Ryback.
Yeah, that's true.
Like I was saying,
but,
I was saying, like, you can easily shift Coulter's ideals to how the WWE needs a new form of justice. Like, he's talking about how America needs to be cleansed. He can talk about how WWE needs a form of justice. I'm not saying Shield is. I'm not saying they're bad talkers. That's not what I was saying.
I know.
I was just saying that how he does his promos and his subjects are I feel like an easy adjustment over to the Shield's ideals.
Another one I was just thinking about, because you could kind of combine their gimmicks together, and it would be David Botunga, because they sure as shit aren't doing anything with him right now. And you could have Coulter come out and do a shtick, and then Otunga can cite legal precedents, or give like a more articulate backup to Coulter's shtick.
Yeah, because he's not bad at getting heat.
Well, we're giving it to someone who deserves some airtime, like Alex Riley.
Oh yeah, he still works for the company, doesn't he?
He does.
I don't know. Is he done being in the doghouse?
I don't know. Did anyone pick him up off the floor after Kane tossed him?
I think they looked at him once. They're like, no, don't touch him. You'll get infected.
Don't touch him; it's contagious.
You'll get infected.
But I was going to say, I figured, if you're trying to turn someone like Zack Ryder, who's super over as a face, heel, I think Zack Ryder could work pretty good for that.
Yeah. I like that.
That could work too. I think there's
Which
a lot
means
of
it's not going to work.
possibilities. Yeah, it'll be Jack Swagger
Or Ted DiBiase.
It'll be Sean O'Hare.
Oh,
You wouldn't be telling us anything we wouldn't already know.
Oh, I was so excited for that gimmick, and then he came out with Roddy Piper. Huh?
Roddy Piper.
Yeah,
Roddy
that gimmick
Piper
had a lot of
murdered him.
potential. And then Roddy Piper went on HBO with Bryant Gumbel. And all right, let's. What else we got, Tim?
It just makes me sad.
Triple H is making another change. He's starting to do away with word for word scripts that that creative likes to give characters, but instead deciding to have just creative give wrestlers bullet points for when they do their promos and whatnot. So because Triple H is trying to ease WWE closer and closer back to a more like 80s styles promos, where they can just go on and be creative with whatever they want to talk about.
And I love the fact that he's starting this with NXT. So like all the rookies is like, hey, bullet points, go. Like just start them right off the bat in training with bullet points. I enjoy that a lot.
Yeah,
Thanks, Dusty Rhodes.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great idea, and I know for some of the top guys, they've always had that type of flexibility where they can kind of do that. But I think it's great to have, just general topics that you want those guys to cover, because it's going to feel a lot more authentic.
So here's a question for you. If before all this had happened, before Triple H got into Power, before any of that, if I had come to you and said, hey, Triple H is going to get a lot of power in WWE, he's going to try to rebuild the tag division, he's going to completely revamp developmental, he's going to bring in indie guys that we know and respect, and he's going to change the way people do promos in a fashion that's going to make it more unique and more their own with bullet points as opposed to fully written promos. Would you have believed me?
No.
To an extent, because he's not an active full-time wrestler anymore, and I think that's really the big change. If you would have told me this while he was full-time guy 5 years ago.
Well, that's what I mean.
Sorry,
that's what I meant.
Okay. Back when he was a full-time wrestler, no, I wouldn't have. I think we would have gotten a very similar situation to when Kevin Nash was booking WCW, and he just booked himself over everybody. So, and that's what I've always said. If you're going to have, I think having a wrestler or a former wrestler, in that spot is really good, as long as they, aren't also a full-time wrestler where they would just have the temptation to put themselves over everybody.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Let's see. There is a scare right now for Mark Henry because at a live show in Virginia last night, he had a match with Kane, and he apparently suffered a knee injury because the referee did the X symbol, and so they did a DQ finish for the match. But hopefully it's nothing too severe, and he'll have his match at Mania with Ryback. So don't expect him to be wrestling on TV anytime soon.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely would love to see this guy stay healthy. I mean, he just came back, and I think his character is still really strong with the crowd. So now, I mean, and especially with the way the shows are booked or not, you don't really need to have him on TV doing anything. You can give him that time to rest up and make sure he's healthy for the big show.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't need to get super physical outside, and it depends on what the extent of the injury is. If they can just have him go out there and whatever they need to do, he doesn't need to be in any matches, certainly, in the traditional sense. I mean, it depends on how injured he is. If he can come out and world's strongest slam somebody, stare downs, throw some stuff around, I think that would be enough. But we'll see.
Pretty much what everybody else said.
It is the same kind of thing with Punk. I mean, he doesn't really need to wrestle. We're trying to keep him off of house shows and stuff so he's fresh.
Yeah.
Mania's not that far away, so it's not like they need to work too hard.
People know the kind of wrestler that Mark Henry is. People know the kind of character that he has. They don't need to risk injury by having him out there beating jobbers.
Worst comes to worst, throw him in a tag match, just, and let him world's strongest slam somebody.
Let him hit some spots, and that's it. I think he's done enough to show that he is going to be quite the test for Ryback. So.
Oh, that'll do it for news.
All right. So then, let's see. Monday Night Raw.
Well, Raw opened with a John Cena promo.
No, it didn't open with a John Cena promo. Get it right. It opened up with Pancake Patterson.
Oh, I'm sorry, that's Rufus Pancake Patterson. And, I don't know, well, Raw was in Pittsburgh this week, which has always been known as a pretty quiet crowd. And, the crowd was pretty... I couldn't tell if they were just bored or confused as to what Rufus Pancake Patterson and Darren Young were doing coming out to confront John Cena.
Well, clearly, they were going to come out there and whoop his ass, but Uncle Pancake Patterson's gout flared up.
That's true. So I guess we ended up having we ended up with John Cena versus Evil John Cena.
Yeah, in a match that took place during a commercial break and ended as soon as it came out.
Yeah, and I know this is going to be a shock to everyone, but John Cena won.
He's just lucky Pancake Patterson had gout.
I know, I guess. But yeah, I know, I had never... Apparently, Titus O'Neil has been doing this Pancake Patterson character on YouTube shows and on Tout or something. This is the first time I'd seen it. And, I don't know. I guess there could be something that may be funny or entertaining there, but it just seemed like he was trying too hard.
It didn't matter because it was still hilarious.
I knew Helmick was not going to like it. I knew.
No,
it.
no, I don't dislike it. I just wish that they would have.
Helmick's old.
I am old, but I'm old as shit. But that's not like it's not even that I disliked it. There was no frame of reference, and the crowd I think felt the same way. They just didn't know like who or why like this was going on. Which that was my thing. I mean, I think if you would have had this character on like some other promos or something like before, Yeah, and then leading it up to this, I just thought it was kind of weird for them to come out and do this shtick, with a main event guy. It was really my thing.
I mean, it made no sense in whatever they were doing, but I felt he was executing the character fine. He wasn't stuttering through his lines. He wasn't nervous. He showed no hesitation with what he was doing. He walked out there with a swagger for a character that no one had ever seen before, as far as the majority of the crowd or us watching. And I thought he executed some pretty funny stuff. To me, it was just unfortunate that there was no reaction, and it's understandable why there wasn't. But
yeah.
I was hoping.
Well, the crowd didn't react to much on the show anyway.
Yeah, I would have liked to have heard some sort of laughter or something, just because I kind of thought it was funny. I wouldn't mind if he continued doing it, and the shirts that have been popping up the fan made shirts that WrestleZone has been posting, are fucking hilarious. I
haven't seen any of those.
There's a shirt. It's gray. It's just his face on it with the fro and the glasses, and it says Pancake above his head, Patterson below it, and on the back it says, "If it wasn't for my gout, I'd raise some hell." And I thought it was hilarious, and I was just like, man,
that is funny.
Man, if that's a real shirt, if that was a real shirt, I would buy it in a second. Oh my! It was so funny.
There you go.
Just the picture they use.
And they put up two of them. There's one the other one says "Arrive, flatten fools, leave." Pretty much like a take on the old Stone Cold shirts.
Yeah, it was good. I thought it was pretty funny, the shirts.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think if they develop it more, it could turn out to be a funny character. It could be something for an actual WWE YouTube show. It could be something just to do backstage segments with. I think it can develop. It was just a weird time to use it.
Yeah, and that was really my biggest thing with it. It was just kind of a weird time to bust that out.
But damn, I laughed at it. I couldn't help it.
Yeah, no, I think Titus O'Neil was, I think it was fine. I just I don't necessarily agree with the timing of it. Was all.
Yeah, I also appreciate that for becoming the highest grossing WWE film star of all time. David Otunga was rewarded with a squash match against Ryback.
Yeah. Well, he held his own for about 15 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
That's being generous.
Well, yeah, I'm a generous guy.
Yeah.
But the real development came after that match when Vicky Guerrero and Teddy Theodore Long came out to tell Ryback that he would not be in the six-man tag match against the Shield at WrestleMania, but instead he would be wrestling Mark Henry. And Ryback was just kind of like, all right, whatever.
Yeah, it seemed like he was kind of pissed at first, and then when they said Mark Henry, it was like, oh yeah, all right, that's cool, I guess.
Oh, Ryback.
And I just thought to myself, and why was he initially put in the six-man tag match at all?
Yeah, that was I just thought that it just seemed to be some, I don't know, maybe
it was a swerve
overbooking or
it was a way to make it not seem as predictable, but it also just made it even more predictable.
I mean, I get the whole thing of, Big Show's heel, and he did heel things to Sheamus and Blandy. But at the same time, you could have done something where they just go, we don't trust you. You need to earn our trust if you want to be our partner. And then that could have been the angle. And then he just earns the spot. Instead of, we don't trust you, Ryback. Oh, Vicky Guerrero took Ryback out the match. I guess we'll take you now, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man. I don't get it. But who am I? Who am I to?
Who am I but a man?
Let's see. Fandango didn't debut again, but
But we
First
get to see his awesome entrance.
yeah,
Yeah, his entrance is awesome.
his entrance is getting more and more elaborate every week, and I enjoy that. I enjoy the fact that they came out, they set up this giant stage, this dance floor, brought him down to the ring, set off pyro behind him, only for him to say, "Nah, fuck that, I'm out."
Yeah.
Well, look who is going to face Bushmouth.
Oh, I want to call you dance time. Oh.
Yeah, but what I did like about the pyro is that the pyro ended up lighting up in the shape of his pose during his vignettes and during like his name marquee. I thought that was funny. I know a lot of people are hating Fandango and the character. I don't know. I'm entertained by it. I mean, it's not going to be a main event thing or any by any means, but
I will.
I think for what they want him to do and so that, I think he's doing a good enough job of getting some heat. And
Monday was the first time since his debut that I was back on board with it, because his debut and when he came out, like, I'm not coming out till you say my name right. I was like, that's kind of funny. And then they kept doing it every week, but like that's all they were doing. Like they weren't doing anything new with it. And I soured on it quickly. Like I was like, okay.
Well, he did call Justin Roberts Joshua, and he called Lilian Garcia Jillian.
Yes.
Which I hope he keeps that up and just brushes everybody off and gets everyone's names wrong.
Yeah, that isn't that. I mean, the subtle touches are nice, but like it was just something where I was like, okay, get in the fucking ring, wrestle somebody. Like, let's do this. I can't do this every week. But when they gave him the bigger entrance and the more of the dancing at the top of the ramp, and he came all the way down and he got in the ring. He got all the way to the ring and then was like, nah, gotcha. I'm going home. Like, for WWE to pull that, for WWE to go, all right, tonight, we're gonna get him a big stage. We're gonna have him come out. We're gonna have him do his entrance. We're gonna do pyro. We're gonna do everything, and then he's just gonna bounce. I thought that was great. So,
yeah.
If they keep it fresh, that's all I want them to do. Keep it fresh. If you're however long you're gonna postpone it.
Yeah, and I think you can do, I think you can do a lot of things like that, and he's been getting closer to the ring every time he's been out. Yeah. So I think they're slowly but surely ramping it up. But yeah, I thought it was fine, and I didn't want to have to see him make his wrestling debut against the Great Khali anyway.
No.
So,
but it would have been Khali dance time. Fandango.
You don't want to embarrass the Great Khali in front of Fandango.
Yeah, that's true.
Let's see. One of the other big things that happened on Raw was the confrontation between CM Punk and The Undertaker. Am I the only one that felt like Undertaker was completely uninterested in cutting his promo?
It was short and sweet, straight to the point, so I had no problem with it.
Like, it was, but no, I mean, just the tone of it, where he's like, CM Punk, last week you did something I didn't really like it. I'm mad, and at WrestleMania I'm gonna hurt you bad. You're not gonna like my fist in your face.
It's gonna be bad.
And then that brought out Punk, who I think cut a more personal promo, and I don't mean personal as in like from his heart or anything. I mean like personal as in the whole turn of this feud is now that it's become personal because CM Punk violated the memory of Paul Bearer, and he's all into it. And just with that short promo, it's like I've seen Undertaker's promo work when he's passionate about his angles. Like last year with him and Triple H, like he was into it. This, even though it was short and sweet, and maybe that's what was appropriate, it didn't seem like he was very into it. It just seemed like they said, "Hey, go out there and be angry." And he's like, "Well, I'm not really angry. Yeah, like just go pretend." And that's what he did. He came out and was like, I don't like it. I want the urn.
He's also the only wrestler who says, fuck this cardboard tube on this microphone. I'm just going to have a straight microphone.
Yeah. But, that was my thing. Though Punk's part of it I thought was very strong.
Especially the juggling.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people were kind of bugged by it. I had no problem with it. I mean, it was...
I think they were just bugged by the cursing.
Oh, I mean, I don't give a... He said shit. Oh, well. Get over it. He's a fucking adult. But...
Well, I mean, I think the worst part is he didn't... There was no Pepsi in the urn. And I loved the opening where he was mimicking... What?
I was just laughing.
Okay.
Because I was remembering what you were talking about. Never mind.
So he was mimicking what?
Yeah.
A bird.
Del Rio?
A dodo bird.
Oh.
An icon?
But yeah, I really do think that, I see what you're saying about Taker's promo. I mean, it was really he didn't really he got a few sentences out and then Punk kind of took over, which I think for this feud is really exactly what you want. I mean, because I think everybody knows what, the Undertaker character would want to say or do, and, it's going to be up to Punk and the heel role to, kind of stir the pot on this thing. So, and I think it was fine. The way he was juggling around, playing around with the urn, and especially when he kept saying, "Oh, no disrespect intended," while he's being just this smarmy dick, it's just going to add to the heat. So yeah, I thought it was.
You know what the next step is? Melted down into a chain.
Yeah.
And I think only Helmet gets that.
Now I know exactly what you're talking about. Who the fuck are you saying that he's the only one that got it?
I think Helmet's the only one who got it.
I didn't get it.
We'll tell you when you're older.
But I'm older now.
Okay. Well, what Timothy is referencing is Kama.
No. We're moving on. No.
I know.
No. Apparently we don't, Howard. Just let it go. We're not smart enough.
Team Hell No wrestled Primo and Not Primo, and Primo and Not Primo got in a lot of offense in this match, but they still lost.
That's fine.
Yeah. Again, that's fine by me. I was just surprised as to how much offense they actually got in this match.
I'm just kind of interested to see because it seemed like at first they were going to go with, Kane versus Daniel Bryan, which would have been interesting because they've been the tag team for quite a while, and it would have been interesting to see. But then they kind of, in 1 week they went from them kind of being like butting heads to them being like perfectly in sync, and then they just okay, well, Biggie Langston and Dolph Ziggler. I'm curious what the thought process is with that.
Thought process is to have Dolph Ziggler walk out with 2 belts.
The thought process is, oh shit, we don't have a mid card.
Yeah,
That's exactly no. I mean, unfortunately, I wish it was more than that, but it's pretty much creative going. Well, we're about 3 weeks away from WrestleMania, and we don't got shit other than our main events.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of agree with Brian. I think they just, they were sitting down and they were looking at the roster and said, well, we don't have. It looks like we could do Daniel Bryan and Kane, but we have nothing for Dolph Ziggler, who's the Money in the Bank winner. So, how about we just do a tag team match so we can get him on the show?
Yeah.
It's a shame how this Mania is being built up because obviously they knew what main event matches they were going to put on for this show, but usually they have seeds planted for what the mid card will be like far in advance that they can just call back to or what have you. But this year, it feels painfully obvious that they are scrambling together mid-card matches to just fill up the time.
Yeah. So, I don't know. Again, I think it'll be fine. I think it would be a good time for Kane and Daniel Bryan to drop the tag belts. I don't know if they will at Mania, because I don't know if you would end up having to take the belts off of Ziggler and Langston if you pull the title change there, but but it's fine. We got another match set up for Mania. At least we know what guys are doing.
Well, to me, they've kind of set up. They've already set up right from the beginning how Big E, Langston, and Dolph Ziggler as tag team champions will go, because right from the start, it seemed like Dolph Ziggler was completely uninterested in wanting to be in a tag match. So I think you could easily do something if they win the tag titles at Mania, and then he wins the WWE title. I could see them losing the tag titles based on his complete lack of interest in being a tag team champion because he is world heavyweight champion.
Yeah, that would be a cool way to go about it.
Yeah, I mean, he'd just come out and be like, "Look, I don't really care," and then you can give it to anybody. You can give it to, the Funkasori, or whatever the hell you want to call them, Sweet Tea and Brodus Clay. Just based on the fact that Ziggler's just like, I don't give a shit about this. I'm world champion.
It could be Big E Langston's left and right pec.
It could be.
Oh, it will be.
Or it will be. So, there you go. Let's see. So, the reason we've been saying Fandango might possibly debut at WrestleMania is because of a backstage promo that was cut with Chris Jericho discussing his Intercontinental Championship match for later in the evening, and he was interrupted by Fandango. They have a little back and forth. Chris Jericho makes some jokes, and he makes the joke that we've all been waiting for about the whole movie tickets thing. And
I thought it was really funny that Jericho asked for tickets for Dead Man Down.
Yeah.
And especially since The Call is the number one thriller in the country right now. You would think that they would want to put more support behind that.
No.
But most importantly, Josh Matthews, laughed in the background, so you're going to have to send for the man.
Yeah, him losing his shit behind Jericho, trying to hide his face.
Yeah.
That was funny. Del Rio and Cody Rhodes had a really good match.
They did have a good match.
They had the kind of good match that I was like, man, that would be a really good title feud.
Yeah, I think
it won't be.
No.
Ever.
No, but after the match, Jack Swagger does come out to put a beat down. On, and he allegedly broke Ricardo Rodriguez's ankle with the Patriot Lock, or the Patriot Act, or whatever they're calling it. So, again, I think this would be a good way to try to give Del Rio a little bit more motivation for wanting to beat up Swagger, because Swagger attacked his little buddy.
Yeah. Poor Ricardo.
Yeah.
But, after that, Booker T would just like to let the WWE Hall of Fame know that he's coming for it.
No,
I like how we were joking about that while it was playing, and then it happened.
Yes.
It was great.
Yeah, I mean, overall, it was a really good highlight package. I'm kind of surprised that Booker T was the latest announcement. I didn't see that coming.
No one saw it coming.
Yeah. But I can't help but laugh at the fact that they put the "We're Coming for You" promo in his package, like in his whole highlight package.
Yeah, I would like to know who made the decision to edit that in there. Because they definitely had to know what they were going for there.
Oh, they absolutely. It's one.
Yeah.
It's one of the most. It's one of the most like iconic things that he's known for, as far as like flubs, or botches or whatever. I mean, it's in the Botchamania thing every week, and that may not be a mainstream thing for every wrestling fan, but for hardcore wrestling fans, people know what that is.
Right.
People in the back know what that is. I'm sure Booker T laughed at it.
Yeah. I also think it's another one of those things where, if you would have went back to the time that WCW was folding up and Vince was buying them out, and if you would have told somebody, hey, in 10 years, Booker T is still going to be like a prominent figure on WWE programming, I don't think many people would have believed you.
No.
So I gotta give him credit for
Sticking it out.
Sticking around and staying relevant and being a company guy, in a lot of different instances. So I say good for him. Hopefully they can get Stevie Ray to induct him.
That's the plan, actually.
Yeah, because it'll be nothing but questions.
But
What are we doing here? What are we doing here, Tony? Tony, what is this? Tony, what's going on?
But I do feel he's kind of out of place, It kind of just shoved in there for the Hall of Fame. I think they should have just left the Hall of Fame as it was for this year. It's kind of just lost in the, the pond there.
Yeah,
I don't think so. I think they had so many big guys. They needed another. Well, not that Booker T's not, but he's no Bruno Sammartino.
No, I'm not saying.
They needed someone kind of in the middle there. Because if they usually have 6 to 8, right?
Usually, it's usually in that range.
Yeah. So I mean, while I agree with you, I certainly think that it's good to see. I was expecting another not to say mid card, but as far as grand scale goes, someone who isn't quite at the top, but is deserving of Hall of Fame status.
Yeah, I think Booker T, just as far as the question of has he done enough or has his career been to the level of getting inducted in the Hall of Fame, I think is I have
it's a yes, but
it's a yes. I don't think there's any question about that. My thing is I don't see WWE making him a main attraction for a Hall of Fame induction year.
Well, neither do I, but I'm just looking at the rest of the list here, and I just feel like he's lost in the mix.
I mean, he won't be lost in the mix to WWE fans.
No, not to WWE fans, but to everyone else maybe.
Well, who is everyone else? WWE fans are the only ones that are going to be watching the Hall of Fame.
Kevin Nash.
And his vanilla midgets.
All I know is that Tugboat got robbed again.
Ice Train.
Maybe next year, Tugboat. It just wasn't your year.
Flash Funk.
Oh, he is so funky.
Well, on a serious note, my list is right now, as far as, people who need to go in the Hall of Fame, include Lex Luger and Demolition.
Macho Man has to be ahead of them, I'm sorry.
Well, I'm trying to think. My list is more, ones who aren't obvious.
Oh, you're talking... Okay.
John Cena.
You know what? Let's throw Luger out there. Who else agrees about Luger? Me, I'm kind of on the fence. I don't know.
I think he's a little too narcissistic. Womp womp. Oh man,
I think if you look at his career and
that was so bad. Thanks for laughing though.
I think if you look at it, I don't know if they would be willing to put him in just because of all the things surrounding Miss Elizabeth's death. A lot of his, drug amounts at the time, and there was a lot of questions around that. So I think they would be, I think they would want to stay away from something like that. just to be safe as to try to not to draw any real negative publicity or criticism there. But I mean, I guess based on his career, I mean, once they put Coco Beware in, you pretty much have an argument for anybody else at that point.
All right, I forgot about Honky Tonk Man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think he certainly deserves it.
Yeah, so I think you can go through and find a lot of guys who deserve it. I think with again with all the stuff surrounding Miss Elizabeth and Luger and that whole thing there, I don't know if they would be willing to do that. If they'd be willing to do that and take that chance for somebody like Luger, who never had a really big WWE run anyway.
Yeah. What do you think are the chances that they ever induct Paul Heyman?
Better than Luger's.
I would say better than Luger's.
I feel he's a guy that honestly does deserve it. He was a promoter of the Big Three back in the day, and he's responsible for a lot in professional wrestling.
Yeah, I mean, it just the way his character and his promos are, even to this day. I mean, the guy's really in. He's probably in the top 5 promos in the industry right now. So, and it has been really for a long time.
I mean, as much as WWE wants to shit on him, they hire him back all the time for a reason. Like, they know, like deep down inside, they know he's either he's a good writer, if that's what they hire him for, or he's a good mouthpiece. I mean, they recognize his talent. For all that they shit on him, they certainly do recognize his talent.
Plus, he's one of the only managers to actually manage 4 different, WWE champions.
Yeah, I would like to see a year like. I know they usually don't do themes, but it would be nice if they did.
An extreme year.
No, not like that. God, no. More like managers and stuff. If they just focused on managers.
Well, they got plenty in right now.
Well, they got Heenan, Jimmy Hart,
Arnold Skolin. Let's see. They got
Whippleman.
The Wizard.
Do you think Jim Cornette ever goes in?
If they ever put that bridge back up, because when it comes to Jim Cornette and bridges, he doesn't just burn them; he demolishes them.
He does blow up a bridge. But I don't know, man. I'm sure that once you guys go to the Hall of Fame building, when you go to WrestleMania this year, you'll be able to see the manager exhibit.
You just got to keep poking at that bear, don't you?
Of course, with a pointy stick.
every time around this year.
Let's see. There's also Lou Albano. Trying to think who else.
I could name. Oh, Sherry Martel.
Sherry Martel. They just put in J.J. Dillon.
Yeah, that's very true.
So.
I mean, you could do
Harvey Whippleman.
You do Harvey Whippleman. He's trying, ladies and gentlemen.
He really is.
You could,
whether it works or not, that's another question.
Yeah. I mean, DiBiase's already in.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, but I mean, there's still
Fuji's in.
Yeah, Fuji's in. So I mean, there's
technically, and Paul Ellering, who's known only for managing the Road Warriors, is in.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I would like to see Heyman in there one year. I think Cornette.
Yeah.
I think Cornette deserves it. But they got to rebuild that bridge. I don't know. I'm trying to think. Huh?
I like the fact they have Sunny in the Hall of Fame, and the picture they're using for is the LOD 2000 costume she wore.
Makes sense. They could. Did they do Brother Love? Bruce. They didn't do Bruce Pritchard at all, did they?
Well, no, they didn't. But I would expect him anytime soon, considering he's working for the competition.
Yeah, not anytime soon.
They do have Afu Anoahu, who had managed some of his Samoan, brethren.
Yeah.
So that's another one.
I get the feeling though next year with Nash being such a heavily rumored guy this year. I have a feeling next year he's going to be the headliner.
We'll see.
I mean, unless they can get Owen Hart or Macho Man, which
Oh,
that's I mean that's up to Crazy Wife and Crazy Brother.
well, the brother wants him in, so there's not. I don't think that would be too hard.
Oh, the brother wants him in, but he also wants like the entire family in, and I don't have.
His dad. I figured his dad should be good enough, and he is in there.
Yeah. Apparently Brett feels that Drew Carey should be inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame.
Guess what? He already is.
Oh, yeah. He
You know what?
is. That's right.
You know what?
Yeah, the
Induct
Hall
him
of Pain.
again.
The Hall of Pain. I think that's what he meant.
There was a triple threat match for the
Just ignore me,
Intercontinental
it's fine.
Championship on Raw.
Why you feel like you gotta derail this? This was a good conversation.
Yeah. Besides,
No,
no.
I was just correcting, for Brett.
Oh no
Besides-
I'm talking about Helmet.
No,
Helmet.
because I lost my place where I was on my notes.
Oh, I know where we were. I've had it on my screen the entire time. I let this
That's
conversation go. Oh, I'm
I
sorry.
also just don't care for that title for that triple threat match.
I need to correct myself. Brett said he wants Drew Carey to be inducted again.
Yeah, you know what? I'm with you, Brett. Let's induct him again.
But yeah, I mean, no, I thought that the triple threat tag. I almost said tag team. Jesus Christ! Triple threat Intercontinental title match. I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was the one. I mean, you had a lot of near falls, and it was the one thing that the crowd actually started to come alive for, because the crowd was dead
Miz
all night.
Managed to get the figure 4 on.
Correctly.
Yep.
Yeah,
So it wasn't the figure 2.5.
I know. It was an actual figure 4.
And there were a lot of near falls, which was pretty exciting. So
I just wish they would
for free TV, it was pretty good.
I just wish they would figure out something to do with Wade Barrett and Antonio Cesaro. I have a feeling that at least Cesaro is going to only be on the pre-show.
Yeah, the way especially with SmackDown this week, we might be getting Cesaro versus Zack Ryder or Santino on the pre-show.
I don't think it's going to be anything like that. But I think with the pre-show being an hour long this year, which I'm still like, holy fuck.
It's going to be a really long show.
I'm going to be in MetLife Stadium for 5 hours. Woof.
And cold.
And cold, yeah. Yeah, I gotta double check something though, because I know WrestleZone said that the current weather projection is 50 degrees, but I checked it like yesterday and it was 69 when I checked it.
I don't trust the weather.
Sorry.
Besides, still 2 weeks away.
It is.
Shit can change.
Yeah, that's my thing. Is it's still too far away, so the snow, or not the snow, the rain doesn't really. Shut up! God damn fucking weather.com. I was trying to check the thing, and all of a sudden the noise came on for because I guess it auto plays a video for whatever local area you choose. And since the way we have this podcast set up, it'll play any sound that plays through my speakers. That everyone probably heard the and I'm just like, fuck you, weather.com. I just wanted to check it. But
this.
but yeah,
Well, it's going to snow.
well if I remember correctly,
Just for like 20 minutes.
during Randy Orton's match.
Yes.
If I remember correctly, though, before we got to WrestleMania last year, I think they were calling for rain at some point during the show.
It was hot.
Yeah, it ended up just being hot as balls until it got dark, and then it was and then it was really nice.
Yeah.
But I know as far as locally here where we are in Baltimore,
Oh my god.
it's supposed to get up to the 70s by WrestleMania. So we'll see what happens. Like you said, it's 2 weeks away. When we're days away, then I'll start looking and kind of preparing for it and everything.
And I feel bad that I forgot about this guy, Freddie Blassie.
Classy Freddie Blassie.
I felt bad I forgot about him. So
I
I had to
understand.
say his name.
No, I get you. But yeah,
Good job.
Wade Barrett's
Pencil neck geek.
still intercount. Wait, what now?
Tim
Yeah,
called me
Wade,
Pencil Neck Geek.
that's to honor him.
Fair enough. Yeah, Wade Barrett is still Intercontinental Champion. Now I guess we get to the close of the show, which is the big reveal, the contract signing for Heyman and.
And I know Helmet loved it.
2 guesses as to who didn't watch it.
Brett.
That's
You're right.
That's technically true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ha and Fitz. Ha is both right.
You got them both right.
2 for 2. What was there a third guy?
Maybe. I think his name rhymes with Belmick.
Bell Atlantic.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
Oh, yeah,
Bell-
Greg Shellman.
Bell-
That guy's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll say, Bell Atlantic wouldn't watch it either because they're out of business.
I thought they folded up into Verizon.
Oh well, if you think any,
I wouldn't know, but I don't care.
I would say out of there's maybe 3 people that are like, yeah, I worked at Bell Atlantic and Verizon.
Well, I actually did see I guess maybe the first 45 seconds of this segment, and then my DVR ended. So my DVR cut out right as Triple H was stepping into the ring.
and you can bet your ass that Helmick made no effort to find the contract signing to watch.
Which means Helmet
No.
loved it. Which means Helmet loved this segment. It's his favorite segment of the week.
Contract segments are always my favorite segment. It's great.
It was good
It's
for
like-
Heyman's
It's
part.
like getting a colonoscopy without something actually going into my anus.
Yeah, it was good from what Brian was about to say. It's good from Heyman's point of view.
Yeah.
Just him jabbing Triple H with verbal jabs.
My favorite line is obviously the most offensive one. He's like, "Oh, maybe we'll choose a stipulation where the winner gets your wife Stephanie." And then he goes, that's probably more appropriate for the loser. Wouldn't you agree? Or like something to that
I'm
extent.
disappointed. I'm disappointed that we didn't get a Stephanie on a pole match now.
Oh, yeah.
We could always have her suspended in a cage.
Yeah, but, it was the back and forth.
Over a pit of lava or sharks.
Spikes.
Spiked sharks.
No, just spikes.
Nope,
No.
we're going to do
I, don't know,
it.
I kind of like the spiked shark idea.
Sharks with lasers on their heads.
Now, this,
So Spike Dudley and John Tenta are going to be in there?
No.
I get it.
it's a joke.
No.
So yeah, what happened during the segment? I mean, I know Heyman had some verbal jabs. And I know the match stipulations, but
It got a little physical. Basically,
Of course it was going to get physical because, anytime Stephanie's brought up, Triple H goes bonkers.
yeah, Triple H was throwing Heyman around a little bit, and then finally the contract was
He looked
signed.
like he was about to rape him
Yeah.
on TV.
Contract was signed. Brock Lesnar finally came out, and then Heyman pulled Lesnar away, and that's when they finally announced that it was going to be a no-holds-barred match, and that Triple H's career is on the line.
And if Brock Lesnar loses the match, he loses the match.
he loses the match. Yeah, but once I read that this was a no holds barred match, I think of all the other rumors and ideas that were floating around, this was the least interesting, especially since I think their first match was no holds barred, wasn't it?
I don't remember.
No.
Or was it one fall to a finish?
One
I would
fall
rather
to a
see
finish.
I would rather see one fall to a finish.
Well, I look at it this way: it wasn't going to be, no disqualification or Hell in a Cell because those were Triple H's last 2 years. So we'll have no holds barred.
Hey, I'm just glad,
which is pretty much the same thing as no DQ.
man.
No DQ.
I'm just glad it's not an MMA rules match.
That's how I feel too. But I also feel like, but I also feel like this is their way of kind of dancing around that because no holds barred is just about MMA in itself.
Maybe
Yeah, I
maybe
know,
old school MMA, but not with all the rules and regulations that are in today's MMA.
Yeah, pussies. But yeah, go ahead.
I know. I would, but the thing is, like, I know they're putting Triple H's career on the line, but for somebody who only wrestles maybe 3 times a year, it doesn't seem to be that big of a deal. Now, if they maybe do something where they say Triple H has to, resign as the whatever he is now, if it's still the COO or just whatever head light AV guy, whatever it is he's doing now, his actual title. Like if he had to leave the company entirely, but I think putting his in-ring career on the line at this point, nobody really buys into retirement angles and retirement steps anyway. And I don't know, I was just kind of underwhelmed by it.
Well, that's because Ric Flair and Terry Funk ruined it.
Yeah, well, I mean, even as recently as Juan Cena when he was fired, and then Juan Cena when he had to join the Nexus.
I don't think he was fired at all. What are you talking about?
Oh, he's just a dedicated company guy, I guess. Goes to work every day, even after he gets fired.
Yeah, apparently the stipulation should have been MMA on a pole match. But anyway, with this stipulation now that Triple H's career is on the line, do you think this is one that leans more towards a Brock Lesnar victory?
I'm just waiting for the swerve.
Yeah, I don't. I still think Triple H is winning this match.
Okay.
But I'll pick. But I do want to see Brock Lesnar winning.
Yeah, I mean, because my thing is, I mean, I don't know. So Triple H wins, and he can continue only wrestling at WrestleMania
And SummerSlam.
Yeah, SummerSlam every now and then. Like, that's my thing. Is like there isn't really. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. To me, it just seems like this has been written to finally be Triple H's swan song.
Which I'm fine with.
Yeah. And who knows? Maybe he does win, and he says that he's retiring anyway.
Yeah, I think it would have been more interesting if the stipulation would have been if Triple H wins, then he's got to retire. Because then you could have seen him be conflicted and show some regret about signing the stipulation and kind of think about what he wants to do, and then he could say, well, if I got to go, I'm going to go out in guns a-blazing or something like that, something along those lines. But I don't know. I've seen we've all seen so many of these retirement steps, and even if Triple H ends up losing and quote unquote retiring, I mean nothing would stop him from coming back and wrestling at SummerSlam or Survivor Series for like a one night only thing, and you can always have Vicky Guerrero come back and re-sign him like she did with Jericho.
But I will say this is kind of leaning towards a more personal feud between the two. Lesnar attacks Vince. He destroys the New Age Outlaws, and now this week Heyman verbal jabs. Stephanie. So it's getting real personal. That's for sure.
It certainly is. I mean, my thing is, I honestly feel if they went the route of Brock Lesnar winning and Triple H having to retire, I think, and maybe this is me not being naive, I think he stays retired because I don't think there's any other big money match waiting out there that entices Triple H to want to wrestle again.
Plus, there's no need with him, about to take over, pretty much the day-to-day stuff, in a year or two.
Oh, I think you guys are forgetting about the much anticipated match of Triple H versus the Derek Bateman.
Anyway, moving on.
I think you are the only one pining for that.
No, Derek Bateman's pining for it too. I guarantee it.
Derek Bateman is pining just to be on TV. Because he tried his America videos.
But he's the USA guy.
Yeah, he tried that shit, and how far did that get him? Got it?
Not as far as Pancake Patterson.
Yeah, Pancake Patterson was on Raw. Where's USA guy? Is he even on NXT as USA guy?
No, he was wearing a knee brace on NXT. That's his character right now.
Every week
No.
it'll be like airbrushed with like a different design.
No, that's all they talked about when he was on NXT a couple weeks ago. They just talked about his knee brace.
Well, that's it for Raw. That is completely
It's okay.
Yeah, I mean, it did its job to push one of the main event matches, and now that The Rock will be back for the past two Raws, they can finally continue to remind. They can have him actually remind you of his match as opposed to showing the same video package 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah. How do you guys feel? I've been reading on different websites that The Rock has made a couple public appearances, but not wearing the title.
Well, the only one he hasn't that they're scrutinizing him for is Jay Leno.
Well,
That's the one I saw.
he was voted best male butt kicker at the Kids' Choice Awards, and he did not have the belt.
I mean,
Hey, it's a new belt. You don't want kids touching that thing.
well, no. Here's the thing. I mean,
Oh, he didn't want to get
Smudge-
slime on it. Okay. Okay.
Leaving smudges, you know?
first and foremost,
Dirty cookie crumb hands.
he was signed and promoted to be on Jay Leno to promote the G.I. Joe movie, and a lot of times when you're on there to promote a specific thing, you're on there as a contractual obligation under studio rules that you are there to promote the movie, and that is it. So if you're contractually obligated to do something, you have to do it. If he was there just as a visit and he didn't have that belt, I'd be completely understanding. Also, at the Nickelodeon Awards, I don't see that as a big marketing opportunity to have the title there. I mean, I know WWE is a family-friendly thing, and the kids are what they go after. But the kids already know that he's The Rock and he's WWE champion. What WWE would prefer is if he had it on Jay Leno. If he had it on a mainstream thing for adults to go, oh, The Rock's, he's wrestling again. Because, hey, there could easily be people that watched WWE back in the day that are not aware of the fact that he's wrestling again. That's completely possible.
Yeah, I don't think him not having the belt is a big deal, but I mean, I don't know. I didn't see these appearances. Did they make any mention of him wrestling at Mania or
Not at all.
Well, the thing at Nickelodeon was it was like a bing bang boom thing. Like they announced him as the winner. He came out. He said thank you, and then he slimed everyone. Like that was I watched the video of it because I was bored earlier today.
Sure you were.
I was. I was writing up the free for all stuff, and I watched that while I was writing it up. But it's a really quick thing. I haven't seen the Leno thing, but I mean, I don't know. I've also seen pictures of him walking the red carpet of G.I. Joe premieres with the WWE title. So it's not like he doesn't do it at all.
yeah? I don't think it's that big of a deal.
Yeah, I'm not worried about it. I mean, I think people are just I think too many marks are just getting too wrapped up in the whole he's not on TV every week. He's like the worst champion ever. And I think they just need.
Well, by definition, Brian, he does not bring it. He hasn't brought it, so I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. Don't apologize. Stick to your guns.
There's not really good guns to stick to, so.
But I don't know. I mean, my thing is, he's been on TV for a good bit of. I mean, he hasn't been on the past couple of weeks, and I think that's kind of weird that he's only there for the last 2 weeks to hype WrestleMania. But other than that, since his return, I've enjoyed most of his promos. I've enjoyed his matches with Punk. I don't have an issue with it. I mean, I've said it before. How many times a year do guys wish that these wrestlers they liked from their respective eras came back and wrestled again? And this guy's coming back and wrestling again. He wrestled last year's WrestleMania. He hosted the year before. He's wrestling this year's WrestleMania, and he's going to wrestle next year's WrestleMania. You don't see,
Not to mention he also wrestled at a freaking Survivor Series and a Royal Rumble.
Survivor Series, Royal Rumble,
SummerSlam to come.
Extreme Rules he's signed for. He wrestled Elimination Chamber.
I was about to say that one. Thank you.
You see, I guarantee you, if Stone Cold Steve Austin were to ever come back, he's coming back to hype a match at WrestleMania, and he's never coming back again. And that's not to insult Steve Austin, because he's in the type of ring shape where he's got one good match left in him, and it should be CM Punk, and it should happen at Mania, and I'll go fucking apeshit for it, and it'll be great. But it's like this guy has been he's not on every day, and he can't be. He's a guy. He's a marketable name in the movie industry, making millions of dollars per picture, in films that are now
millions of dollars and millions.
Millions of dollars and millions of dollars, and he's in movies that are making hundreds of millions and hundreds of millions, and he's got that's his avenue now. But he's still coming back to wrestle not just A shows, not just WrestleManias, but B pay-per-views. He's coming back. He's going to be wrestling at Extreme Rules and Elimination Chamber.
You spoiled brats.
So, the fact that they're bitching that he wasn't on Raw a couple of weeks, or that he's a guy that doesn't wrestle house shows, so he shouldn't have the belt. I mean, there are plenty of guys that get the belt as like a thank you run. That's all this is. He's going to lose the belt at Mania. You're going to get Cena, and then as soon as Cena wins, you're going to completely forget about The Rock's reign, and you're going to go to bitching, Cena's champ,
Yep.
You're going to be too busy bitching that Super Cena is champion again.
I will.
But
not for the reasons you say.
I know. But I mean, it's just, for a long time, I've said to myself, I wanted The Rock. I would have liked The Rock to come back and do one. I just wanted one more match, and he's given us several. I think if he ever were to agree to wrestle in a Raw, that'll be the point where internet wrestling fans have run out of things to bitch about.
No, they won't. They'll always bitch about something.
No, they always will, but I mean, as far as like quote-unquote valid arguments towards the whole thing, yes, he has never wrestled on free TV since he's come back. But the moment he does, they've officially ran out of quality things to bitch about. It'll just be nitpicking. I mean, and at this point, it's still nitpicking. But I am a wrestling fan that has been so for 20 years. I'm 27 years old. I've been watching it since I was a little kid. My dad got me into it. My favorite portion growing up, is just like everybody else. It's the Attitude Era. But unlike all these other jaded fucks, when Rock comes back and wrestles this part-time schedule, I'm grateful because I grew up watching him. I enjoyed the shit out of him, and the fact that he's going to come back when he doesn't have to and he can make his millions of dollars in Hollywood, he's coming back in wrestling and wrestling good matches. I'm taking it. I'm just going along for the ride. I don't give a shit if he's here once a month. I don't give a shit if he misses 2 Raws in a row. Whatever. It's entertaining. If he came back and shit the store and just fucking shit the bed, then I'd be like, oh fuck, he should have just stayed retired. But he's still wrestling well. Oh, he's a little out of breath at the end of matches. Oh, what do you expect? Wrestles twice a year. Fuck off. Jesus. TNA.
Besides his acting.
It's all pretend.
He's selling to tough matches.
Yeah. I one thing about TNA, let's completely move you guys into your part of it. One thing I want to comment on that I actually watched, and then it's all you guys, is I saw the promo packages that were used to explain the entire hoax that is Aces and Eights. And while a lot of it is still a bit bullshit, I want to completely give TNA props for going through and coming up with some form of explanation for everything. And I'm sorry, what?
Well, we should really thank Timothy, because Timothy's on the writing team, and he was telling them, hey, Helmic's been out of the loop for a while, so you should use this week's episode to catch him up.
Yeah.
No, I didn't tell them to catch you up.
Oh, well, in that case, I guess I should thank Dixie.
I wanted you to stay in the dark, and I wanted you to rely on me on all your source.
So then, who overruled you?
I'm going to assume it's that no back Hulk Hogan.
I was going to say, was it Hogan? But yeah, I mean, they were well put together. I mean, TNA's always
and
good
his son Brooke.
TNA's always good at putting together video packages, and Bully Ray was really good in each one. And like I said, even though some of that stuff was kind of BS, I'm like, yeah, you kind of pulled that explanation out of your ass. The fact that they just took the time and went, yeah, this is what happened. Like, oh, we were originally trying to end this at Bound for Glory, but goddamn, Jeff Hardy fucked it all up. But hey, we came up with this new plan. Like, you know what?
Yeah.
Good on you, TNA. I liked it. It was a little bit bullshit, but I liked it.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely some revisionist history there, but to show some effort, and for people who, if you haven't watched TNA for a while, or if you watch just randomly, it was a good episode to kind of catch you up on everything and to make you believe this is all planned from the beginning.
Yeah.
But fuck, I forgot what I was gonna say. Now it's gone.
Oh, god damn it.
Yeah.
Well,
anyway,
go into Impact.
Yeah. Hopefully it'll come back to me. Anyway, Hulk Hogan calls out four guys: Samoa Joe, Magnus, Kerrang, and Meth Hardy. And Meth Hardy books all four of them in the match to be the number one contender, because rematch clauses don't exist in TNA.
Nah, they're used randomly. Yeah, I mean, why would you want to take advantage of your rematch clause when you can put yourself into a four-way match where you have a 75% chance of not being the number one contender?
Plus, put yourself in a match where you're recovering from a concussion.
Oh, pshaw. Concussion, purse-mushing.
Now I know it was taped, but still, it still counts. Anyway.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the crowd seemed, at least, they seem to be excited to be getting this match at the end of the show, so yeah, that was something.
Yeah. You get essentially a rematch between Bobby Roode and Austin Aries versus the Mexicans. In a good match, where Roode and Aries get the win, but then Daniels and Kazarian come out and attack them after the match, pretty much wanting to be the World Tag Team Champions of the world again.
Yeah, and again, I thought this was fine. It was a good TV match. You have Caziels throwing their hats back into the ring, and it'll be interesting to see how they book that. If they're going to do a straight heel versus heel match, or they're going to throw the new Mexican America in as baby faces for another triple threat or another three-way tag match.
Fun be.
Yeah, but no, I mean it was fine. It was a good way to keep some heat on a team that lost at the pay-per-view.
Real quick, before you guys move on, I just want to let you know, Mark Henry did wrestle in his match tonight, and there was no signs of an injury. So it seems like everything was just a minor thing.
Well, that's good.
Good.
So the X Division unveiled a new set of rules for their division. Go ahead, Helmick. I know you love them.
Yeah, well, their whole slogan and tagline they've been using since the company's inception of it's not about weight limits, it's about no limits. It's about weight limits.
Now it is.
But the weight limit is set at 230 pounds. So that's going to actually open the door for a lot of the roster, which was fine.
Yeah,
But
I may be mistaken, but WCW's Cruiserweight division, wasn't that weight limit at like 220?
I think it was at 220.
So, it's
I
not
know WWE's was at 220.
So either way, just add 10 pounds. So yeah. Anyway, continue. By the way, this also means that Bob Van Tam will never get a rematch because he's like 240. He's like at 240.
Yeah, no, and I'm okay with that. But what they're also doing, and I think I understand all the details of it. You may have to correct me if I'm wrong, Timothy.
Okay.
But every X Division title match will now be a 3-way match.
Yep.
And they're to take place every week, as if this were like a TV title or something.
Just about every week.
And then, like, I know if the champion gets pinned, then he loses. But if you get pinned, you can't get another X Division title match. Like, oh, this was really convoluted and unnecessary.
Well, the way it boils down is they have a triple threat, okay, for the X Division title. The loser doesn't get a rematch, but they then have another triple threat match the following week between 3 X Division competitors, and the winner of that match gets put in the next X Division championship match between the winner, whoever the champion was, and the guy who was not, pinned. So in other words, it kind of gets convoluted because the loser could essentially be in that triple threat match, win, and be in the next triple threat championship match.
That's the only part I don't like about it.
Yeah, I don't think you need to pigeonhole your entire division like that, though, and have all these 3-way matches, especially when the X Division doesn't have that many guys in it. I mean, these are the only 3 guys that I can think of who are like currently like active in the X Division.
No, because Sanjay Dutt, I don't even know if he's really active. This is the first time I had seen Sanjay Dutt since, I believe, Destination X last year. That's the truth. So, in all honesty, I can only name, at the very least, 5 active X Division wrestlers. That's Kenny King, Zima Ion, Christian York, Joey Ryan, and Robbie E, who have been on TV or on a pay-per-view within the last 2 months.
The rules will only be understandable if they are now going to go out and hire or bring in guys to fill up this division.
Right, exactly. And that's
because I haven't seen Kid Cash in God knows how long. I don't even know if he's on the roster still. And I haven't seen Doug Williams anytime recently. In fact, I don't think he even was on the England tour.
No, I mean, there's no Kid Cash, no Doug Williams, no Mark Haskins.
Shut the fuck up.
You shut your mouth.
Well, hey, at least I got it out before I started laughing.
Okay, so you want guys that technically qualify for as X Division wrestlers, right? I'm looking at the Impact Wrestling roster right now.
Yeah, but I wouldn't trust their page because they don't update it ever.
I mean, it looks decently updated. It's got all the correct champions. But all right, so
but as far as the actual roster,
okay,
that's what I want to say.
Okay, take this as a grain of salt, but this is who's on here who could qualify. AJ Styles, Alex Silva, Austin Aries, Chavo Guerrero, Chris Sabin's still on here. He's not a part of the company. I don't think he's not a part of them anymore, is he? I thought he got released.
I don't remember him getting released.
Last I heard, he had to have like ACL.
Yeah, he's still screwed up.
That was about a year ago too.
Yeah, so he's still injured. Christian York, Christopher Daniels, Doug Williams, Eric Young, Garrett Bischoff, I guess Gunner.
Gunner.
For the weight at least, not for
no. I mean, what the hell happened to that guy?
Chris Louie happened. That's what.
Yeah. Joey Ryan, Kazarian, obviously Kenny King. He's a champion. I'm starting to run low. Robbie E. He is a former X Division guy. Rockstar Spud. Wes Briscoe.
Zima Ion.
And Zima Ion, yeah. Who the fuck is Willie Urbina?
He's
think
part of he's part of the Spanish announce team with Hector Guerrero.
That's what I thought. He's wearing a suit. I figure he's not a wrestler. And I don't know who Sam Shaw is. I don't know what his weight class would
I think
be
he was-
considered.
He was one of the gut check
Oh, let's
contestants.
check, guys. I think he's pretty jacked up, if I remember.
Yeah,
240.
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh no, they list him as 6'1", 230, so he's right at the weight limit. But who knows?
I'm gonna say he's not a part of it.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna say too. Just on his look.
yeah, but I mean, there's so many of those guys that are nowhere near the X division right now as far as their storylines, or just they're not on TV.
And actual in-ring work, yeah. The X division needs to be showcased for younger talent, I think.
Yeah, but I don't know. I mean, the match itself was, I guess if you were there live,
It was fast-paced, that's for sure. But that's
yeah,
about
I
it.
mean, it was.
But that's
yeah,
about
it
it.
was a 5-minute spot fest. So, Kenny King won, and he pinned Zema Ion. No, he pinned Sanjay Dutt.
Dutt, yeah.
So Sanjay Dutt, you're out of the X Division title
For 2
picture
weeks.
until
For 2 weeks
next
at
time
least.
they need to plug you into a title match.
Yeah. If you win the next match, that is.
Yeah.
Because you're one of the ones from the golden age of the X division that did not win that title.
Yeah, he might be the only one from the Golden Age who didn't have.
No, that is actually correct. He is the only one to not win that title.
Yeah.
Hulk Hogan bitches out Sting again.
Yeah.
Or am I ahead of myself?
Because why not?
No, you're right. They're still arguing about Bully Ray,
Yeah.
and Hogan tells Sting that, when the tough gets going, Sting just runs away to the rafters for.
I love that line.
Yeah, I thought that was cool too. I really did like that.
And the next shot, I just wanted to see Sting up in the rafters, just crying.
Yeah, sitting on his little cot in the rafters,
Yeah,
his little 10-inch black and white TV.
and his crow.
Yeah. Taryn Terrell comes out to face the music
Quote unquote.
because she beat up Gail Kim, and Brooke Hogan remembers that she's the VP of the Knockouts.
Yeah, surprised me. I forgot she was the
This-
VP of the Knockouts.
This segment, and tells her that she has to release her from her contract as a Knockouts referee, but fear not, because she has signed her, I guess without her knowledge, to a wrestling contract. So this gives Taryn Terrell motivation to spear Gail Kim, and then those two fight all the way to the back.
What
Gail
a
runs.
twist.
Gail runs because she's in that nice dress.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I wouldn't want to mess with that nice dress either.
Neither would I. She's got to eat later that night at Tara's eatery,
Yeah.
which someday I will not visit.
Well, I don't know, maybe you can visit that when you go to the Hall of Fame building.
Is that going to be in parts unknown?
Yeah, probably.
All right, parts unknown. Here we come.
Let's see. Matt
Also,
Morgan.
Also, Bully Ray comes out in this segment just to say hi to Brooke
Oh, yeah.
and remind her till death do us part.
Yeah. Bully Ray was, he was really good on the show.
Also, this was the only actual on-air appearance of Aces and Eights.
Yeah, which I thought was good. Because,
Which considering the last show, you don't need them on TV again.
No, they definitely, those guys deserve a week off. But yeah, I thought Bully Ray was, he was funny in this segment and all of his other segments of, talking about his Aces and Eights turn and playing, which was peppered all throughout the show. I thought were really well put together, and we were talking about those already.
Those were real good.
Yeah. What was not real good was
Matt
Matt
Morgan.
Morgan versus Joseph Park.
For all the right reasons.
Yeah, this was
I'm not defending this, so go ahead and bury it.
okay. Well, this match was about as good as one would expect it to be. They go through the all the typical beginnings of a Joseph Parks match where he's really awkward and getting beat up, and then he gets a few shots in, and then Matt Morgan fell down when he hit the carbon footprint.
He sure did.
And he wins.
Matt Morgan, that is.
Yeah, Matt Morgan wins.
Sounds great.
It was not.
And the crowd could not have cared less.
They wish they could cheer another guy from Chicago.
They wanted to, but they felt the way I felt about it.
Yeah.
Which was to say that they were bored to tears.
Very bored to tears.
Yeah.
As stuttering Matt Morgan would say. Mike Tenay tried to interview AJ Styles, but everyone else tried to talk to him instead. But AJ Styles pretty much just said,
he didn't say anything. I think he's going to go. I think he's
I'm trying to tell them.
Oh, okay.
Okay, go ahead.
All right. Well, I think AJ Styles is going to be bunking up with Sting in the rafters. And Tenay was trying to ask him, and of course, the first question Tenay asks him is, "Hey, are you a drunkard?" Which I always thought was a really odd way to open up an interview. But Taz stands up, and Taz is trying to, goad him into joining Aces and Eights, and
I think he should have accepted.
Yeah, why not? Let's just put everybody in there. But then James Storm came out and said that if he wants to sucker punch me and you want to be the new AJ Styles, that's fine. But I'm still the sane cowboy. And the crowd started chanting "Hug It Out" during this segment, which I thought was pretty funny.
But AJ decided to walk away.
Arthur Jameson Styles, just walked away.
Which I liked, actually. I liked the fact he didn't say anything.
Yeah, it's fine. I mean, it's the guy's first, it's his first set of tapings back. He came out last week and he laid out Storm and Kaz and Daniels in a nice Fortune reunion.
Yeah.
But,
of course, I wouldn't say anything to the people of Chicago either, but that's just me.
No, actually, Chicago's a bad place. Like their murder rate's high or something.
It's a little windy there, and their teams stink.
Yeah.
Except for their hockey team right now, they're okay.
Yeah. The Blackhawks are pretty good.
But anyway, Fatal 4-Way, go.
Well, with our Fatal 4-Way, we had Matt Hardy versus Samoa Joe versus Magnus versus Kurt Angle, and I really was expecting Aces and Eights to run in.
And they didn't.
But they didn't.
So you got swerved.
I got swerved because there was no run-in or big brawl or swerve. I thought this match was pretty decent. It was a good TV match. Magnus seemed to get a lot of camera time and a lot of offense in here, which I think was good because I think he's. Yeah, I've liked Magnus for a while, and I think he's a guy who you could really
build around.
Build around and promote as part of the new generation of TNA, and he's going to be seen as a real homegrown talent.
He is one of their own homegrown talent.
Right. Yeah, exactly. But
I'm still waiting for that British Invasion reunion.
Yeah. I guess we could.
Especially with Rob Terry turning face now.
That is true. And I guess he did win the Battle of the Robbies.
He did do that.
But
Matt Hardy does win.
Yes. Match ends with a series of spots and finishers. And then Matt Hardy comes out of nowhere with a Swanton Bomb and pins Samoa Joe.
He literally, as Taz put it, stole the match.
Yeah, he did, which I think is. I think it's funny on an Impact. You have a heel criticizing a babyface for really winning the match legitimately, and then on SmackDown you had the babyfaces criticizing Wade Barrett for winning his match legitimately on Raw.
Yeah.
But all in all, I mean, I thought this was a pretty good Impact. I mean, your matches with the four-way and the tag match, those matches were pretty good, pretty entertaining. Crowd was a lot more quiet for this show, but with it being a second set of tapings, it's usually what happens.
I mean, I get all horsed up afterwards.
Yeah.
So SmackDown opened up the way I didn't want it to open up. With, Miz TV and whatnot. Because nobody wants to...
come on!
No, you shut your whore mouth. Nobody wants to see Miz TV ever. Nor do they want to see it open a SmackDown. But they open it up with Sheamus and Orton saying, hey, we're actually going to pick the Big Show this time.
Well, that's what Orton's saying. And Sheamus doesn't seem to be quite on board. But yeah, you're right. I mean, Miz TV sucks, and this babyface character, the Miz, is awful. But Big Show does come out, and the Miz is just like stirring up shit between the three of them, and he's not being very babyface-like at all. And then Booker T comes out, and he announces that they're going to be together in a 6-man tag. And I immediately thought, oh, they're going to wrestle 3MB. And then Booker said it was going to be the main event. So I figured, oh, they can't possibly wrestle 3MB.
And then they wrestled 3MB.
They wrestled 3MB.
Yeah, they actually, for a split second, they showed that on Raw.
Yeah.
Like, that was the main event. Like, oh, hey, this is going to be really exciting.
Yeah. So I kind of got double swerved. Yeah, I psyched myself out, and then they hit me with it. But yeah, Miz TV.
Yeah, it is kind of bad. Miz TV or Carlito's Cabana?
Carlito's Cabana.
Okay.
Never second guessed it.
I know. Hey,
Carlito's Cabana in a heartbeat. I'm trying to think of any of these like segments that I have disliked or hated as much.
Cutting Edge.
As
How about
bad
the Cutting Edge?
The Peep Show.
Yeah.
How about the Abraham Washington Show?
The VIP Lounge.
Hang on, Abraham Washington show was pretty bad.
The VIP Lounge.
Who had the VIP Lounge?
MVP.
Yep.
Okay.
Are we trying to figure out worse shows than
Miz TV?
Yes.
Worst TV. See, the Cutting Edge had a few good segments though, and the thing is, like, none of those hosts annoy me as much as the Miz does. Like, I just want him to be really grating and irritating.
Carlito's Cabana?
Yeah,
That was the first one I said.
Oh, okay.
That's what he said. And
Helmick just unwavering, said Carlito's Cabana was better.
yeah, well, I don't know about it's less bad because Carlito's Cabana really wasn't very good.
Someone could see that as better.
Maybe if you're an optimist.
Oh, the barbershop.
Yeah, but see, the barbershop had that full setup, and then you had that segment with Michaels and Jannetty.
Santino's Foreign Exchange.
That's actually a YouTube show, though.
I know, but you know
Nobody watched that.
That
How about the funeral parlor?
Funeral Parlor is great. You shut your whore mouth.
All right. How about the snake pit?
That's pretty bad.
Okay. So there are a couple that can maybe give Miz TV a run for its money, but I would say probably within the last 10 years, this is the worst one.
The reaction to that was priceless. What about a snake pit? That was pretty bad. That's silent.
I just wasn't going to let you shit on the Funeral Parlor, because the Funeral Parlor was actually probably the second best, TV, talk show they've had.
Yeah, the Funeral Parlor had a lot of good segments, and that really did a lot, especially in the early days, to forward Undertaker's character.
Yeah.
I mean, that was really a huge part of what got him over and what turned him babyface against Jake the Snake Roberts, and that's what I'm saying. Like, when you had segments like that really pushed big angles and allowed characters and guys on the mic who weren't awful to get some airtime. It was fine, but all these Miz TV segments suck.
Like Frankie Williams.
Yeah.
There
Yeah.
has not been one good Miz TV.
So
Well,
I looked up a list.
No. There was one good Miz TV.
The one where Brock Lesnar beat the shit out of him?
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. You know what? You're right. You are actually right. I
Yeah,
enjoyed that
but-
one. And
Yeah. So, I mean, like, again, you don't need a whole interview segment, for that. So, I don't know.
So
But
how about the Brother Love Show
I was trying to remember what the name of that was.
or Blackjack Mulligan's Texas Barbecue? I looked up a list.
Okay.
The Heartbreak Hotel, or the King's Court, or Cafe de Rene. I guess that was Rene Dupree.
Oh, I do remember that. Wasn't that the one with?
I don't remember that at all.
Wait, wasn't that the one that had Santino and Kozlov on it, all dressed up and drinking tea?
No.
I don't think so, but that's
Okay.
pretty bad too.
Yeah.
Because they did have Fifi with them.
Yes, he did.
Dogs. British people.
Oh, so many of these segments are terrible.
Europeans.
Yeah.
But hey, let's move away from this because I want to talk about Mark Henry murdering Zack Ryder.
Something we've never ever seen before.
Yeah, so Mark Henry murdered Zack Ryder. That's it. But Ryback did clothesline Mark Henry, so
Yeah. Not a total squash.
no. But Teddy Long got the business from Booker T for working with Vicky Guerrero.
Yeah. And Teddy Theodore Long told him to slow his roll, which makes me wonder if they're gonna be looking at a heel turn for Teddy Theodore Long or for Booker T. Huffman.
Oh, does this mean we get to see the return of what's his face?
King Booker?
No.
General Bro?
No, the Mac Militant.
Rodney Mack?
Rodney Mack?
Coming
Rodney
to get
Mack.
it on.
Only if they're going to be bringing Jazz back too.
Well, obviously.
Yeah.
You can only keep one.
Well, then I'm
So-
keeping Jazz.
Yeah, so we'll keep Jazz.
Yeah, no, that segment was. I mean, if they're not gonna, I could just see them doing it as like a one-off thing. But I'd actually be kind of interested to see, Teddy Long turn heel because I don't think he's ever been heel during his time in with the E.
When he was managing Rodney Mack,
Yeah, but
and when he was trying to get us down with the Brown,
I always
and when he
enjoyed
was
that joke
managing Mark Henry.
because Rodney Mack was beating up white boys in the White Boy Challenge, and I love nothing more than to watch some honkies catch a beating.
You sure do.
Yeah. Oh, Whitey.
Dolph Ziggler and Kobe Johnston had a match. That Dolph Ziggler and Kobe Johnston have a match always.
Yeah, and
The white guy wins.
Johnson did not win this one either. This is
Swe-
becoming like the TV version of Randy Orton and John Cena, where they wrestled every month for like a year and a half. That's what I'm getting at with Dolph Ziggler and Kobe Johnston. Where when I see them in the ring now, I just scream and then fast forward through the match.
Swagger and Jericho had a return match. Swagger again went. This time with the help of Fandango, who I was kind of disappointed in because he did a leg drop from the top, and I hope that's not his finisher.
I don't know. I have no problem with the top rope leg drop. I mean,
It's not Psychosis, so I don't care.
it's not Psychosis, but I will consider this Fandango's in-ring debut because he got to the ring and he threw some plunges and he beat up Jericho and he cost Jericho the match.
He
So
did not give Jericho any movie tickets.
nope. But from what I've heard, he probably did him a favor by not getting him Dead Man Down tickets.
That movie's great.
I
stand corrected.
I wouldn't know. Rhodes Scholars and the Funkasaurus Dactyls T's had a no contest where they just fought each other, so that was pointless. Cesaro Miz had a match with Wade Barrett on commentary, and they buried Antonio Cesaro.
Yeah, and this is why I was saying that we're probably going to get something like Cesaro and Zack Ryder or Cesaro and Santino on the pre-show.
I was kind of intrigued when Antonio Cesaro was in the ring and Wade Barrett was at commentary. It's like, ooh, are we going to get a U.S. title IC merger?
Yeah, I was thinking they were going to do like a
and I would have been all for that. It's like, give me that shit.
Yeah, I thought that would have been cool.
Jeez, calm down.
Like I would have loved to have seen them do, something with these guys. But Cesaro was really an afterthought. It looks like they're really building toward a Miz and Wade Barrett match at Mania.
It's dumb.
Yeah, I would much rather see like Cesaro and Barrett. Like I know it's heel versus heel, but I think you could really have those guys.
Plus, I think
go back and forth about which title is better, and they can go over their pedigrees and debate about who's scored the most important wins. And
plus, this would be the match that Antonio Cesaro would be face.
Yeah, I think so. I think he would probably be the babyface in this match.
If I would have to pick one, I would pick Cesaro.
Yeah, but the Miz wins with a figure four, and then
I don't remember. Did he actually apply it?
He did. He did, and Cesaro tapped like immediately,
which makes it even worse.
Yeah, so but like Cesaro, rolls out of the ring, and then Miz and Wade Barrett have a little bit of a stare down as Wade Barrett's leaving the announce table, and going back to the back.
Miz lets Barrett know that he's coming for you, nigga.
Yeah, more or less. So then we got our main event, which I was shocked to see 3MB in a main event. And I guess being in the main event helped them out because they got a lot more offense in this match than I would have ever expected too.
Yeah, coming up in the world of 3MB.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean the result ended up being in their favor.
No, they still got beat pretty handily.
And then Orton, Sheamus, and Big Show had a stare down with the Shield.
Yeah, well, Sheamus and the Big Show started getting into a little bit of a scuffle.
Oh, the other big thing through all of this is cool-headed mediator Randy Orton, which we completely forgot to talk about.
Yeah. Apparently, the way this team dynamic is going to work is that Sheamus and the Big Show are going to be wanting to fight each other, and Blandy Borton is the voice of reason. Which I think will be okay if this leads to Orton turning heel.
Which I think is going to be okay because there's going to be memes about good guy Randy Orton.
Yeah. But I think if you were to, at this point, they could be planting the seeds where, like, if Sheamus refuses to tag in Big Show or hits the Big Show or something and then gets pinned, Orton can blame Sheamus for the loss, and then you can pull the trigger on Orton turning heel and having those guys feud. So that part was okay. But overall, SmackDown
was SmackDown.
And again,
SmackDown was on par for every other SmackDown.
Yeah. And I keep waiting for them to really do something, big with the World Heavyweight title. But again, like that was really a bigger thing on Raw. I mean, I think Zeb Coulter got like a minute-long video that where he was saying that they had to that attacking Rodriguez was necessary, and like that was it. Like there was no mention of anything else. Like Del Rio wasn't on the show. It's just really
well. They did explain why Del Rio wasn't on the show.
Yeah, but I would have still liked, even if you had like a pre-taped thing with Del Rio, vowing revenge or something. I just think on a show like SmackDown where you're lacking in star power. You don't have Cena on there. You don't have Punk. You don't have Undertaker or Triple H or The Rock. I think you need to really feature your key guys on that show more so, because the talent over there is so much thinner.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it kind of fell flat a little bit.
Yeah. But Fandango did make his debut.
Officially.
Yeah.
He did a move.
Yes, he did a move.
He did 2 moves.
He did
That is true.
2 wrestling moves. Look out, world! He's gonna take WWE by storm.
Yeah, but just think of all the possibilities. He and Brian Christopher could have a contest as to who does the best leg drop from the top rope.
Banging it, banging it, banging it, banging
3
it.
more moves by Fandango, and he'll have just as many as Kevin Nash.
Yeah. Well, I know Johnny Curtis has been taking some dance lessons to help this character work. So
Well, I would hope so.
yeah. So I mean, I would like to see. Maybe we can see like him do like some merengue moves or something and incorporate into the wrestling. I don't know. Like,
I think if he just does the Macarena, he'll win the crowd over.
Yeah, but the problem is, us old people are going to know what that is.
Them youngins ain't.
Nope, so you know what that means.
They don't know true shit like we do.
So you know what that means.
What?
Also, number
that means-
5.
that means we're gonna get to see like Santino do the Macarena before he loses to Fandango one week.
Fandango is going to teach everyone the cha-cha slide.
Fandango.
It's time to get funky, funky, funky. Everybody clap your hands.
I'd be okay with Fandango giving us some dance lessons.
Only on Saturday morning slam, though.
Yeah, it'd be fine.
Because it's a children's program, and kids got to learn.
Kids do have to learn. 'Cause kids are stupid.
And then WWE can say, see, we have a program on Saturdays that teach children.
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, I can imagine like a bunch of little kids buying the Fandango vest, and getting like one of those like foam fingers, but in the shape of the Fandango silhouette.
Yeah. All right, so that pretty much wraps it up then, as far as our show goes.
Yeah.
Just thought occurred to me that we need to figure something out for WrestleMania since we're 2 weeks out. Either we'll record something on Saturday, or we just won't be on.
Or we'll do the road trip recording.
We won't. I don't think we'll be able to do it live like we tried to do last year. I think it would have to be recorded and then I just post it. So that depends. We still gotta finalize some things as far as that goes and what we're doing for WrestleMania, because apparently I don't know. I'll discuss it off the air. It doesn't need to be on the air. Anyway, tune in tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen, for our other weekly podcast. It is the Digital Reload, our video game podcast, where we will have plenty of stuff to talk about, plenty of new announcements and developments from PAX East over the weekend, plenty of Borderlands stuff, plenty of news regarding Blizzard, some classic Capcom games getting remastered, plenty of stuff. Plus, at the very least, hands-on impressions, but also possibly a full-on review for Gears of War Judgment.
Sounds good.
So, plenty of stuff there to talk about. It should be a pretty packed show as a whole for the Digital Reload. All exciting stuff. And as one last reminder, ladies and gentlemen, please be kind enough to take the time to visit digitaldailyfix.com and vote on the polls for our March Madness tournament, the franchise free-for-all. The comic and television polls are up the rest of today and all of tomorrow. Voting ends midnight Tuesday morning. And if you've already voted by now, if you're listening and you've already voted, because I did see the vote count jump a bit between when we started this podcast and now. If you've already voted, please take the time to copy those links from your address bar, paste them in the Facebook, and share the pages with your friends so that they can vote as well. It would be greatly appreciated. And that's it.
I guess so.
Anything else for anybody that they want to promote?
Yep.
Nope.
All right.
Nope.
All right, kids. Well, then, until next time, we will see you here once again next Sunday at Chinlock. Good night, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.